Hey guys, it used to be that creating a good web page was a daunting task. You're stuck asking what's Google gonna like and what should I say on the web page? How much should I talk about everything? Well, think about it this way. Think about it like a high school outline. You had your Roman numeral 1, okay? And it would be whatever your main topic is. And then you would have your A section, maybe with 1, 2, 3 in it. Then your B section with 1, 2, 3 in it. And then your C section, right? With 1, 2, 3 in it, kind of thing, right? That's generally that idea. For a web page, it's very similar. You've got your Roman numeral 1, but whenever you do that, then you're going to want one or more paragraphs after it. Then you're going to have your A, B, and C, but you're always going to have a couple of paragraphs after it. And here's why, really. When you're writing a web page, your Roman numeral 1 is your header 1. There should only be one on the entire web page, one H1 tag. Okay? And that's telling Google the whole web page is going to be about this one thing up here at the top, right? This, the H1 tag. And why do you need an H1 tag if it's at the top? Because you could have a very small paragraph, you know, just wait until you read this, right? All right, ever see those tiny little opener lines, teaser lines, that kind of thing? Well, that's not your H1 tag, is it? Your H1 tag is the main point of the entire page. So that's why you have to mark it as an H1, which our website does for you anyways. You're generating the contents. Now, whenever you have a header, then you must have paragraphs and or bullet points after it. Never have an H1 tag and then instantly an H2. It's sort of okay, but you shouldn't do it. You should have at least one paragraph that separates one header from the next header, okay? And then once you have your subheaders, like your capital A, your capital B, and your capital C, right? Then you're also gonna want at least one paragraph or some bullet points in there. Okay, so what do I want to say? I just want to point this out real quick. Header 1 with one or more paragraphs, and then you're going to get into it. That was your Roman numeral 1. Now you're going to have your capital A, capital B, capital C, and inside each of those, like your capital A, you're going to have 1, 2, and 3, and then B, 1, 2, 3, C, 1, 2, 3, something like that. So you've got your capital A, and it's going to have one or more paragraphs, okay? And then you may or may not have a subsection like a 1, 2, 3, okay? And if you do, it's your H3 tag. And guess what's going to come after it? Probably some paragraphs, like 4. One paragraph about this, one paragraph about that. Could you have those be headers? Yeah. And if they are, what are they going to be? H4. And it's going to have some paragraph after it, right? One or more. And then you're going to have another H4 here. So just be consistent. Why? That way Google knows what you're doing, because otherwise it's not sure. If I have an H4 and I have some intro paragraph and then these are paragraphs, Google does not know that these are of equal quality or importance to these two. It doesn't realize that you're pointing out 4 equal things unless you're specifying it with your tags, right? Headers tell Google what the following information is supposed to be about, okay? So anyway, as you're writing, you can get your header 3s, you can get your paragraphs. That's like your A, B, and C, your small ones. And then maybe you're going to come all the way down to these little guys, a small, Roman numeral 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's your bullets, really, right? And you're really getting all the way in. Then you step back out to the next H2 level. In other words, we just moved from capital A to capital B, which is your second H2, right? Because it's of equal quality to the H2 up here, right? It's Roman numeral 1 followed by capital A, and then you got capital B, so it's another H2, and it's got its own stuff in here. And then you're gonna eventually get to your capital C, which is another H2, right? Your header second level. Then you've got your header third level, and you might have header fourth level, and or bullets, and obviously paragraphs is the majority of your page. Now, what would I notice in here almost instantly? If I were to scroll down looking for a big mistake in the structure, here's what catches my eye immediately. I see a header 3 followed by a header 4 with no paragraph in between, or no bullet point, no anything in between. Does that make sense? Okay, you're going to have lots of paragraphs. It's good to put headers to every so often for your paragraphs so that Google understands what the next set of 3 paragraphs or 4 paragraphs is for, right? Aha, right there, H2, H3. Should put some kind of a paragraph in there, okay? Google's not just going to hit you badly or something like that if you don't, but it's just missing something so your page isn't as competitive as the next guy's, okay? Just a way to think about it. You can argue that point, but don't. Okay, now, having said all that, even this looks a little daunting, doesn't it? I mean, this is, after all, what always made creating web pages daunting. The answer is, You go to pages, go to article generation. Now you're going to get this. If I'm going to generate page content, I'm going to put in my H1 tag right here, which was up at the top. This would be my H1 tag, wouldn't it? Boom. And for guidance, I just want to give it a little direction, because one title, man, you could go anywhere with that. You could really do anything with that. So I've got to give it some direction, right? Marketing, SEO, ranking, something like that. Then what do you say? You say, give me some subtitles, like 10 of them. Let me see what I like. And I want about 17 words at the most per subtitle. And what do you think it's creating right here? Your capital A, B, C, and so on. Okay? It's creating your H2 tags for you. So I put in an H1 tag with some guidance, and I said, make me a bunch of H2s that I can consider. And it's like, how to optimize your site for higher search engine rankings. Okay, I might be happy with that. Foolproof guide to marketing your website. Okay, I might be cool with that. Guide to marketing and SEO techniques and one course. May or may not be kind of duplicate, but I could let it roll and see what it creates for the sections and decide what I want to keep and throw out. Foolproof guide. Okay, now I'm starting to get, definitely duplicate. Marketing your website. Okay, top 10 ways to improve. Okay, I might take that off. Top 10 ways is good. Marketing and SEO tips. That's like tips. I think we had tips up here. No, we didn't. Okay. How to get high search rankings without marketing or SEO? No. I mean, I might be interested personally what it's going to say, but it's not part of this topic, is it? Proven strategies for boosting. Okay. Proven ways to improve. And just in case, I might even say next again to see if it gives me some new, different angles or twists to it, because it could. It's going to just keep thinking outside the box and adding at the bottom. Stuff worthy of adding at the bottom. Okay? Let me see. Okay, that's kind of cool. Now, I want to shuffle the order, but I'm not really sure if my shuffle will be the right idea until I see how much content is written for each of these sections. That way, as I'm reading, see, that's the thing, flow. When people read, they want to stay engaged. That means make sure that it flows. It's not disjointed and just throws one thing after the next. So for the flow to work, let me first generate content, and then we'll see what we're doing there. So I'm going to the next thing. Let me see. I'm going to do this for the keyword for the top one, marketing, SEO, rankings, right? And rank. And you know what? Even Google. Well, I don't know. I'm going to copy the keywords going now. So I just made my life easy. Does that really mean it's the perfect way to do it? No. I may as well get in here and make some real adjustments, right? Proven ways to improve, right? Then I might just be like improve rankings, right? So I could do that. I could keep SEO in there and go improve keyword rankings. Okay, fine. That kind of idea. So I couldn't make little minor adjustments. But do you know what I'm staring at? My H1 with all my H2s, right? Now I'm going to tell it the tone that I want, which frankly, I like engaging most of the time. I don't think I'm trying to convince them in a big long text like this. And I could be professional, but that could be dry. So I like engaging. Google wants your content to catch people's attention and hold it. Okay? So if professional's gonna be the right answer, go that way. If you're going for a shorter piece that really locks something in, I go for convincing. But if you're gonna go for a long, even flow, then probably engaging is the right choice for you. Okay, now word count's gonna be a lot higher than that. Let's go with like 2,500 words on the page and hit next. And guess what it's gonna create? And here's the point I'm making. So I put in my H1, it gave me a bunch of ideas for H2s and I chose the ones I wanted. And I had a lot of H2s that I said yes to. You know what's going to create now? All the paragraphs and the H3s and the bullets all the way down. And then if I think I got my order wrong, really I should have this section above this other one, I'll be able to drag and drop that, see? So let's see what happened here, or what's happening. I gave it a lot to do. Oh, there we go. Okay, so take a look at this. See it? Now you can understand it that way. This is one of those main sections, right? And this could be the H1 tag. Of course, whoops. I can change and make something else the H1 tag, but check it out. It is no scope optimizing to your keyword research. Look at that. Look at how much material there is in there. And then what? Foolproof guide to marketing your website for searching. And look at that. It's paragraphs and bullet points, right? That's kind of what I mean. Numbered sections in this case. And even then, look at that. It's a numbered list. Number 1, do your research with a paragraph. Number 2, use keywords to write your site with a paragraph. 3, optimize your website for mobile with a paragraph. See how clean and organized all this content is. That means if a user is reading it, this is happening to them. This is happening to them. Organized comprehension of the topic, right? This is what Google wants. Now, Google's not going to tell you whether A comes first or B comes first. That's kind of up to you. If you do it right, then the flow's better. And if it's engaging, the flow's better. And people tend to keep reading through it. If you disjoin it, if you have something hit and then something totally different happen, and people's minds are still worrying on this and you jumped way over sometimes there's a disconnect. And that stops people from being interested in your topic. And so read through it, at least browse through it, and make sure you yourself like the flow, right? Does it hold your attention? If you were in the market, would you be interested, right? So just think about what seems to be the right idea for the flow. A lot of it just comes right off of the headings. The top 10 ways to improve. Does that come before or after a guide to marketing? That'll help you increase. A guide to marketing probably comes before the top 10 ways, right? What about this one? Foolproof guide to marketing for hire and a guide to marketing SEO. Okay, it's kind of duplicate maybe. Maybe I'll keep one of those and throw the other one out. How to optimize. Okay, that definitely I'm keeping in. I see what it's doing here, right? And because it's going through all these tips, right? Then I like that foolproof comes right after that. Foolproof guide to marketing your website. So I'm going to see if I like that. Of course, when I save it, I can make any adjustments to the headers and stuff. But what's my main point right here, right now? You can do this. You can take a section and drag it down below the next section. You can take another section and drag it up. And you can literally reshuffle the entire page to whatever you think is the best layout, right, to go off of. And then if something does feel duplicate, what do? Deselect it. You don't want to save it, okay? I want to save that one. That one's not duplicate. I didn't greet you, sure know what to fuck them right with right. Okay. You know what? Which do I like better? This? Do I want to keep this or do I want to keep this? You know what I think? This will hold their attention a little longer, but this is kind of duplicate unless I want to use it like a closing. Maybe I want to use it like a closing. But then I don't want this one because now it's saying there's no surefire recipe for success. Oh, yeah. I think they got it. Only guide you need. I don't know about that. That sounds, but that's it. I got to read it to see if I like it. I can always adjust the title or take it out. Okay, here's my point. Now that you have everything done, you have the whole thing in the right order, except that I really wanted that other thing at the bottom. Right about there. Okay, now that I got it right, okay, and I deselected what I don't want to keep, I can proceed. Okay, so check that out. And at this point, I can start making edits right here, right now. I'm on this page right here, right now. I can click and start editing. Make sure that's an H1. Make sure that's an H2. If it's an H3, we need to fix it. How to get to be an H3? That's our programming fault for accidentally marking those things the wrong way. I think I know why. Because when you check the source code, we found there was a mismatch in the titles. And so I was telling them, hey, fix that thing. And when they did, I think what they did was the opposite idea. Before, when you called it an H2, it would come out in the coding as an H3. So I think now they made sure that comes out in the coding as an H2, but it happens to say H3. I was like, come on, guys, fix that. That's an easy fix, okay? Easy fix. So, if I like the contents, I don't need to care too much about the color of the font or the type of the font or the size of the font or any other thing. Because I can go deal with that a little later. But I could do stuff like this. I could say, go ahead and bold that, bold this, right? And probably I should bold it with the number, right? But there you go. I mean, that's easy enough. Bold, right? Bold. So, yeah, I got to put a little effort into making it look the way I want it to look, right? But then I'm caring for what reason? That when I get this recipe finished and I have this thing laid out the way I want, I can produce a lot of other pages too. That can be really, really cool. Anyway, I'm going to save it. And now I could assign it to something. Okay, I could assign it to some page. I got to create the page, and that way I can come back here and assign it to that page. Or what am I going to do? If I'm going to assign it, first I'm going to publish it. Sorry. Publish, yes, because otherwise you can't assign it, I think. And then, can you tell it's kind of new? Getting this powerful, this crazy is kind of new for us. So let me just put it there. Let's see what that looks like. M4AP1. Okay, I'm there. I'm going to kill that. I'm going to scroll down. There we go. Okay. And so, yeah, I'm using my typography to set everything else in here. All the stuff that I need to set. Yeah, see all the bolding? The bolded 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I did? I mean, it looks pretty good, right? I can change my fonts, my colors for paragraphs and headings and everything I want, But there you go. That was what I needed to do, and I got it to work. All right. So then if you think, well, that's my homepage. Now what are you going to do for the rest of the pages? What do you think I'm going to do? I'll tell you. All these sections that I opened, right? I opened a bunch of sections. Foolproof guide to marketing your website for higher search engine rankings, right? So I call it something like marketing guide or foolproof guide. And guess what? I'm going to make another page about just that, exactly that. And I'm going to make that a link in my menu. See? So the homepage introduces it by talking a bit about it. I'm going to make a whole page. Well, the reality check is I've got so much stuff here that I could break these off and make these into the separate pages and then come back and just intro each of these things. And introing means you just sort of open the topic, right? And you're going to link to those other pages, like right here. Okay, maybe I'll do 6. I'll do 6 internal pages. Then I'll rewrite this section here so that these buttons point into those 6 different links, right? The learn more will click to each of those separate pages, right? One of them to that page, one of them to the next page, one to the next page, and they'll say what they say, foolproof guide, top 10 tips, you know? And a little something here, which I already have up here, so it's perfect introduction. Everything up here I got a paragraph for. That right there, if I was going to say increase with effective marketing, yeah, increase your ranking, then I'm going to make that the paragraph, right? So down here, it's going to say increase your ranking. I'm going to use that paragraph, and the link is going to go to that page I make for the increase your ranking topic. Does that make sense? So I've done actually most of my entire website just by doing that first outline, okay? And I could always go back and generate more content for the individual components. Nothing stops me from taking a subsection that I can write more about and creating another page for it. And then sticking that in the menu as a drop down underneath the main topic. That topic, whatever it was. So if it was a foolproof guide, and when I read through it, I find that it's talking about 5 things that I could do a whole page for, 3, 4, or 5 of those things. I can do a whole page for each of those 3, 4, or 5 things and put them underneath the foolproof guide link in the menu, right? So how fast can you make awesome web pages and therefore awesome websites? And then because of the iterations that we allow, the ability to generate iterations, you can generate variations for other websites. What if you had a bunch of websites that are all about the same topic, and especially if it's in the same area or for your own affiliates, and they all work together? Then you've got related websites that you can use to point into your website. Now we have really cool offers for how to do that efficiently and cost effectively at Website Installer. No, it's the kind of thing you would look into the super affiliate sites for. But you can do it. You can, and so the only thing I want to say is use the new releases when you come and get your website so that they can do this, because it's the new releases that have all these functions built in. Okay, hope you found this interesting, and I hope it clears up how fast you can generate content. I'm spending all my time explaining it. If I wasn't explaining it, really, how fast is it to generate? You go to pages, go to article generation. You generate page content. Put in a title, put in some guiding keywords, say next once, twice, 3 times, check mark a bunch of things, say publish or proceed, let it generate, rearrange the contents, and then save it, and then make some final edits to it, and then save it. You know, and then you can publish it and assign it to a web page. Then you can go into that web page and you can do more stuff with it. So I could go into the home web page that we're done with now. It's got all the stuff. See how to get high search engine rankings, and everything is in there. Okay. So what can I do now? I can start putting images in there. I can stick my cursor where I would want an image, maybe here. Well, I'd probably put it next to some kind of header, but maybe further down, maybe up high. What do I want? Maybe on the right-hand side here, and I'll just say insert an image, right? And I'll browse the server, and I'll go grab an image. And that's way too wide. So we're going to take this down to like 500 or even 400, say. And we'll do 15 for horizontal spacing, 15 for vertical. We'll align it to the right, maybe. And okay, there you go, right? And so, yeah, not that this is the right image. But you see what I'm doing? And so down here, right? Right here. I mean, I can put another image in here, stick an image in the middle somewhere. It doesn't need to be aligned. I might say that one, you know, and I might say 450, okay? And I'm still going to do my whole 15 by 15, say, and I'll align it to the left. Boom. There we go, right? Then I could bold that or whatever I need, you know. And how's that? Just playing with this stuff is easy, you know. There. How's that? I could even go and then take this one back up, right? And then just save it. How's that? Okay, I think you get the idea. Went on for a long time, but I think it just explains to you how fast you can catch up with all the competitors that have been out there pounding content out with an extreme budget for years and years, and you're catching up with them just writing like an absolute expert without knowing anything about the topic, okay? And so then just go clean up all this stuff, right? It's fun to decorate it, you know? All right, hope that makes sense. And yeah, I hope you see it now. You can outright your competitors and turn your content into sales. Okay.